I am standing in one of my favorite places in all of LA. Let me give you a little look at this, just so you can see what's behind me. How gorgeous is that? This is literally like 10 minutes away from me driving, and so I love to just walk through the park. It's called Tree People, and it's gorgeous. I have to take those off. But I wanted to share something with you because I've been really thinking about how society has changed so much recently that it's like you don't know if somebody's real anymore or are they computer. And the amount of lies now out there are immeasurable. And I know I joke a little bit about lying. As Poppy, I'm Pippi. Have you ever been lied to? That whole thing. Well, the truth is, this past year, not only have I had a boyfriend that lied to me and told me that his fiance died in a car accident, and he never had a fiance, and she never died in a car accident. I've had a couple of other situations that are just mind-blowing as far as how you used to be able to trust. Now it's society's turning into, wait, just got to get that chemtrail in the background. How lovely. It's just turning into a situation where you don't know who you can trust. I was going to get a roommate. And so I went online to a roommate service, which is where you'd get a roommate, right? I submitted to my name, profile, pictures of my apartment, all this, and I got a response. And the response was from this woman who said she was a Christian nurse and she loved my space and she was willing to move in a month. But right now she was at sea. She was a nurse on the Royal Caribbean ship. And they were out at sea, and so it was really hard for her to find a place, but she was going to do it online. And so we started communicating back and forth, and she was willing to pay what I asked her to pay. And she seemed really cool. And we shared stories, and I was like, oh, it's really cool that you're a nurse. My dad's a doctor. It's really neat that you're Christian, like all this stuff. And it gets down to it, and I just get like this weird feeling in my gut, like this is not right. When I didn't know why. So I was like, oh, Rachel, you're just being so paranoid, right? So it gets down to probably like 3 days before she's supposed to move in. Meanwhile, I turned down 2 other applicants. That one was a sleazy Australian guy who I could tell was not going to be a good fit. And then another one was a nice enough guy. And then I just thought, well, I'd rather live with a woman, especially if she's like a nurse and she's willing to pay the price, to live there. I just want to show you this view, how gorgeous that is. It's hard to get me and the view. But so I say, all right, 2 days before, and she sends me an email and says, if it's okay, I need to get my stuff shipped there before I arrive, but I have to pay the shipping company, but it's hard for me to do that on the cruise ship. So could you do me a favor and I'm going to pay you right now, and I'll pay you extra for doing this. And I'm going to send the money to your PayPal account. And then once you get the money, you can, if you could go to Walmart and send a wire transfer of like $975. And the address was to some woman in the Philippines. And I was like, what shipping company is in the Philippines? Come on. That was my first sign. And then I was like, well, you know what? If I get the money in my PayPal account, then I'll do it. So, of course, I didn't get the money in the PayPal account, but she sent me a receipt, and I'll show it to you right here. Sent me a receipt that says you've been paid this amount of money, and it looked very, very professional. It looked like it came from PayPal, but I'm still not going to do that based on her receipt. I want to see it in my account. Well, it never showed up. And instantly I had that horrible feeling in my gut. I went online, looked up PayPal scams, and apparently this is a big scam. They pretend to be somebody, whether they want to buy something you have or move in, they pretend to be at sea. I write her back, of course. I'm not going to let this go now that I know it's a scam. I write her back feeling like a fool, and I said, wow, it's so interesting that you're on the Royal Caribbean cruise line. My landlord is actually used to be a cruise, used to work on that same exact cruise line. So where are you? What's the name of your ship? And where are you at? Are you at port? Are you at sea? Tell me where you are. Because she knows everybody. So, of course, the woman responded, but did not answer my question. And then I said, you know that I know this is a scam, right? And truly, I hope you're really at your soul level okay with doing this, because this is karma. This stuff comes around. Like, you're doing this to me. And I'm sure desperate people do desperate things, right? So someone's probably fallen for this and sent her the 900 and whatever dollars to her mother or sister in the Philippines. But I just said, you need to just take a look at your life and see what you're doing, because you're scamming a lot of people, including me, but I didn't fall for it. I contacted PayPal. I reported it, but they can't do anything, So just be wary of that whole PayPal thing. And also, I just felt so duped. I was like, here, trusted this fake person. I don't even know if it was a girl. And now I'm looking for different jobs. I have a couple TV shows in the works, one that I've written, produced, but in the meantime, my show's done filming, so I've been applying at different job sites, and they're all bullshit, 100%. Like Indeed, Glassdoor, all of them, all they want is your information. And what they do is they sell that information to other sites. It's crazy, because I thought, oh, this won't be that hard. I'll just submit my resume and they'll send me a thing and I'll submit it. Not once, because they're all in it together. Basically, you go to Glassdoor.com. I got this other job service. There's Indeed, Glassdoor, and Monster, and even LinkedIn. It's all like, what they do is once you click on it to say, okay, I want to apply, I'm going to apply for this job that doesn't exist, that click sends you to another job site. And then some of them you have to pay for the membership just to apply for a job. So all I'm saying, guys, is it's so hard, I think, in today's society to know what's real and what's not, because everything's online. And now online includes scams and bots, and you know that there are services that you call and it even sounds like an actual voice, because of course they've been doing this for a long time. They've been getting voice recognition and knowing how people sound. Even at Facebook, the whole 10-year thing, how they age now. Post a picture from 10 years ago and today, so we can actually put into our computers exactly what it looks like when people age for 10 years. I guess what I'm trying to say is being lied to on every level. And then, of course, that doesn't even include all the other stuff that we've been lied to about since we were kids. Everything from Christopher Columbus not discovering America to the moon landing. They lost all of the tapes. They lost every single bit of, like, millions of dollars of footage they taped over. If anyone were to tell me, like, I got married. I still have my wedding video from 1994. And I have an extra copy as well in case anything happened to it. But the most important moment in pretty much in mankind, in the history of mankind, and they tape over all of the telemetry, footage, all this stuff is gone. I think it's created at this point a sense of cognitive dissonance, which is just like numb, like not caring anymore. You're just like shaking your head at all the lies out there. But it's kind of hard to function, because where do you go to find truth, like honesty? And what are the signs? For me, if I can help anybody learn the signs of a lie, or if someone's lying to you, I wrote them down. There's 10 of them. because I really thought about it. And I thought, oh man, with all the infiltration of computers and 5G and television and media, and I mean, rarely do we get a chance to like walk in nature like this, right? And even just the trees and the smell of the trees, it brings us back to who we are. And I find that when I bring people up here, I've only brought a few people up here, but when they're around this atmosphere, it's like they can't help but be really honest. It's interesting. Maybe it's because they're getting in touch with nature more, I just love that view. Look at that. So beautiful. I mean, say what you want about California and Los Angeles, but when you're like 5 minutes away from something like this, I love it. I really do. That's the part I love. So I'm just going to share with you the 10 ways I know someone's lying to me. First of all, number one, I'll sit down for this. Number one is you got to listen to your gut. Number one, that's the number one thing, because in all these situations, there was something in my gut that knew. It just knew that it wasn't the truth. So listen to your gut. And how do you get more in touch with your gut? Well, it's by meditating. It's by spending time in nature. It's by journaling. It's by really getting a good sense of who you are and knowing when something's doesn't feel right and checking it out, And I think ultimately that's why I've been a truth seeker, because all of the things that I've been told since I was a little kid, a lot of them didn't sit right with me. But, I think that we have, as far as even going online, people who were on Facebook don't even enjoy it anymore because there's something in them. They're going against their own self because their self is saying something isn't right about this, because it's all like marketing now. And they're trying to sell you stuff, and it's all programming in these 30-second videos. And it's just like, it's so overwhelming that I think it doesn't feel right to a lot of people, but they already pulled us in because we want to find out what our nephews and nieces are doing, or the people connection pulled us into Facebook, and then they slowly started taking that away. And by the way, they're doing this thing with YouTube. I'll put it up here. Someone just sent this to me today. YouTube is no longer recommending any videos that have anything to do with what they consider conspiracy. So let's say anything about the moon landing being fake, or I get Donald Trump being a time traveler, but even you should look into that as well. They won't recommend it, therefore your numbers will go down, which makes sense, because since the new year, I would get at least 1,000 to 5,000 views, and now it barely reaches 600. And my subscribership is going up. I can see the people who subscribe every day, but the numbers still stay the same. And I'm not doing this for money, so it doesn't matter. I'd like to at one point, but right now I'm not, so that doesn't matter. But I'm just like, you feel helpless. Like, how do we fight the system, And the only way I can think of is just remain truthful, just remain honest, and don't let anything sway you from that. Because I know people do YouTube videos to get views, and if YouTube's not going to be recommending these videos, then people are going to stop telling what they think the truth is, right? So, I'm going to make sure my dog didn't fall off the cliff.